Okay, welcome back to Just the Facts, y'all. My name is Jimmy, and let's talk about Russell Westbrook once again. As y'all can tell by the title, we're going to talk about why Russ has been slandered so much and why all that slander should be put to rest, at least right now. There's no reason to be slandering a guy who's as great as Russ at this current moment in time, as he and the Wizards have been playing much better than they have to begin the season. And no, we're not only going to talk about Stephen A. Smith, we're going to talk about what most NBA fans in general think about Russell Westbrook and all the misconceptions about him. So let's just get straight into it. So let's just start off on a good note, a really good note here. Russell Westbrook has had 12 triple-doubles in his last 14 games, and I think there's a stretch there where he had like 7, 8, 9 in a row or whatever, which is absolutely insane. After a beginning of the season, that was a horrendous start for Russ, and people were calling him washed and he's done and all this stuff. And he has proved everyone wrong, but still, he was still an all-star caliber player, even in the beginning of the season where the Wizards were just struggling and losing all these games. Russ was still getting all these triple doubles, but it wasn't translating to wins at that moment in time. But now that Russ has stepped his game up, it's obviously clear that he is not washed and he has a lot left in the tank. And Russell Westbrook is a guy that's slandered for being not clutch at all, that's known for, turning the ball over at crucial moments in time, taking ill-advised shots in crunch time, and things of this nature, right? But Russell Westbrook, as of April 21st, I couldn't get the more updated recent numbers, but as of April 21st, Russ was number one in clutch field goal percentage. And clutch, let me just define it for y'all pretty quickly and brief. Clutch is the last 5 minutes of a game or overtime, end of regulation or overtime, the last 5 minutes, and a game that is within 5 points. So if it meets both of those parameters, it is considered clutch. And Russ has played better than anyone in the NBA this season when it comes down to clutch time moments. Shout out to Dame time. Russ has been controlling the game so well this season, and I think that's a really underrated aspect of the game. That people don't really talk about when it comes to Westbrook. Everyone talks about how athletic he is. Everyone talks about how fast he is. Everyone talks about how tenacious he is and all these rebounds and points. And they talk about the assists, but they don't talk about it in a way like he's a floor general. But Russ, indeed, is he's a floor general, man. Like, he's not LeBron level or like he's not that level yet, but like people talk about floor generals. People talk about Luka, Rondo, Chris Paul, obviously, and guys like that. Russell Westbrook's name does not pop up with those other guys, and I don't know why, because obviously he is making his teammates better. Russell Westbrook's underrated in that aspect. But let's get to Stephen A. real quick. So Stephen A., I am fully aware that he and other pundits on ESPN and other shows like Fox Sports 1, Undisputed, all that stuff, right? These guys are paid to debate each other. These guys are paid to come out with some crazy quotes and headlines and all that stuff. I get all of that. I understand that. But it's gotten to the point where it's so toxic. And it's not only with Russell Westbrook. It's with a ton of other players in the league. Kyrie being another one. It gets super toxic sometimes. He said basically that Russ, all these triple-doubles don't matter. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. Yes, he's a great player. Yes, he's an MVP. But all these triple-doubles don't matter. It doesn't really translate to wins. He doesn't show up in the postseason. Oh, he had guys like KD, Harden, Bradley Beal, and he's still not winning. These are the things Stephen A. Was saying about Russell Westbrook. And for him to diminish like what Russell Westbrook's doing in terms of the triple-double and how easy it looks for him and how easy it is for him, it really irks me to see that. That just gives me so much hater vibes, and I hate when the media does stuff like this to downplay a guy, because let's just take a quick rundown of Russell Westbrook's career as a whole. So the young and up-and-coming Thunder, they missed the playoffs, I think, the first couple years of Russ's career, and then obviously they make the finals. That's the first real like championship contender team Russ was on. The 2012 finals. Did you expect the Thunder to win that series? Nobody did. 2013, the Thunder were going to run it back. I think they would have won the championship that year. if Russ was healthy, but thanks to Patrick Beverley, that did not happen. In 2014, Russ was still lingering with that meniscus injury, I believe it was, and they lost to the Spurs in 6 games. Fast forward to 2015, I believe, yeah, this is the year KD breaks his foot, only plays like 20-something games. Thunder end up missing the playoffs barely. They won 45 games. Like 2016, Thunder come back. This is their last opportunity. People just to see the collapse. It really sucked. Yes, Russ choked, but guess what? Also, Kevin Durant choked, shooting 10 for 31 or whatever it was in game 6. Shout out to game 6 Clay as well. And then 2017, 2018, 2019, quick rundown of those. Russ MVP season, carries the team, wheels them to the 6th seed somehow, some way, with a roster that couldn't shoot worth a lick, like I mentioned earlier. They played the Rockets, who shot 53s a game. That was just a bad matchup for the Thunder. Russ couldn't really be blamed there. Okay, and in 2018, I will say you can put some of the blame, a little more of the blame, on Russ for the 2018 loss to the Utah Jazz in the first round. There's no way in hell Russell Westbrook should have lost to a rookie Donovan Mitchell, which had 5 points in the elimination game. Carmelo Anthony had 7 points in the elimination game. They combined for 12 points in the elimination game, while Russ scored 46 points himself. And in 2019, honestly, I can put all this blame on Russ. He took the game too personal. He took the series too personal with Damian Lillard, in my opinion, and that just caused his downfall. He tried to match whatever Dame was doing. Dame would shoot a 3, and then Russ would come down and try to shoot a 3, or Dame would score on Russ, and then Russ would try to come back and force a shot while Dame is guarding him, and it just looked really bad. And then obviously in 2020, Russ had a slow start with James Harden in Houston. Russ gets hurt in the bubble, one of those games that were setting up for the playoffs. I think it was against Portland, and he wasn't healthy in the playoffs. When he came back, obviously he was rushed back, because we now saw that what happened with the Wizards early on in the season. Russ's quad was still unhealthy. Russ played really bad versus the Lakers. He wasn't good at all, probably outside of game 1. So all in all, I say all of that to say that Russell Westbrook has had opportunities to win a title, no doubt, but he has not had as many opportunities, or as clear or as good opportunities as a lot of people like make it out to be. And one guy including Stephen A. Smith. Now, with the media narrative that Russ is a bad teammate and whatnot, I mean, you can look down the line of any teammate who ever played with Russell Westbrook and ask them, how is Russ as a teammate? And every single teammate that we have on document, on file, in a video ever, whether it be current teammates, former teammates, you name it, have said nothing but great things about Russell Westbrook. And I'm sure all these guys are being as truthful as possible. And Bradley Beal just recently said that Russ just brings a mental approach to the game that really helped out Bradley Beal bring a better mindset to the game on a nightly basis, because as we all know, Russ is relentless. He will come at you like every single night. He's not gonna stop, and that's one thing we should all admire about Russell Westbrook. Like, he doesn't stop. He's always on go mode. I think that leads to his downfall a good amount of the time. I just mentioned it with the Dame series in 2019, that he tries too hard sometimes to push the issue, to create good plays for his teammates, to create good plays for the team. I think that really hurts him. And I think the other thing that really hurts Russ is the fact that it's the IQ that really hurts him. I don't think it's the shooting that hurts him. People say, oh, Russ can't shoot. He shoots 30% from the 3, or he shoots 39% from the field, or 40% from the field, and all these things. I don't think the field goal percentage is an issue. Well, I take that back. I think field goal percentage is an issue because IQ is an issue. Now, let me frame that for y'all. Russell Westbrook is not a good three-point shooter. We know that. He's an okay mid-range shooter. That's his bread and butter. He loves going to the mid-range, especially on the left side. Bank shot. But all in all, Russ is not a very good shooter. We know all of that stuff. But I think what would have made Russell Westbrook more successful was the IQ aspect of it all. Shot selection, knowing when to push the ball up the court, knowing when to slow down, knowing which matchups to attack, and things of that nature. Like, you want to know why Russell Westbrook was an MVP candidate in Houston during the second half of that regular season? It's because he cut his three-pointers in half from 4 to 2, and that really helped him out a lot. He was driving to the basket at will, and guess what? Can nobody stay in front of Russell Westbrook? I say this all the time. Nobody can stop Russell Westbrook but himself, and he literally stops himself more than any other player I've ever seen. And I can say that honestly as a Russ fan. He stops himself. He guards himself more than any other player, if that makes sense. He bails the defenses out by taking a 3, settling for a 3. Yes, guys are going to leave him open. Yes, you got to take a 3 or 2 here and there to keep the defense honest. But when he's falling in love with a 3, when he's falling in love with the mid-range, especially when they're not falling down, he's just letting the defense off the hook. You're one of the fastest point guard in NBA history, if not the fastest. You are the most overall athletic point guard in NBA history, so not many people can jump with him. But his overall legacy for me is top 10 point guard of all time. I don't know where to rank him. I'm not going to look at that until it's all said and done, until his career is over. But he's a top 10 point guard of all time. He's the second best point guard of this generation. Let me repeat that. Russell Westbrook is the second, no lower than second, best point guard of this generation. I don't know what years you want to count as quote-unquote this generation, but Russ is second, only to Steph Curry. Damian Lillard is a guy that, and I don't mean to hate on Damian Lillard, I'm not making this a Dame hate video, but Damian Lillard is one of the more overrated playoff performers in recent memory. He has great shots. He hits clutch shots. Yes, I experienced it firsthand with Russ, but he's not as clutch. He's not as a great of a playoff performer as y'all might think. I can make a video deep into that if y'all want me to, but that's just how I feel about Damian Lillard. Chris Paul, who I think is the third best point guard of the generation, he's great as well, but he gets no slander at all. And I'm not saying, oh, let's slander CP3. No, let's not slander CP3. CP3 is great. Anything he touches turns to damn near gold. Not gold, but damn near gold. Because if everything he touched turned to gold, I mean, he would have gold on his ring right now, on his ring finger right now. But he doesn't. He's striving for that this season with the Suns. And I think I want to make a video about the Phoenix Suns and why I think they're really, really dangerous come this playoffs here in a couple weeks here. But Russ, he's going to break the triple-double record. I think he's going to break it this season. Let's see if the Wizards make the play-in tournament. They have been playing so much better as of late. And if they do, I think Russ will break the record this season. It would be crazy if Russ got the triple-double record on the last game of the regular season where the Wizards need to get in. They need to win that game to get in. And Russ gets the triple-double and the Wizards get in to play in. That would be absolutely sick. If y'all like this video, just let me know. Yeah, I can make another video here soon about the Suns. I want to make a video about Paul George soon. Why slander needs to stop on his name as well. But y'all let me know. This is Jimmy from Just the Facts. I'm signing out. Peace.